There are structures whose very existence seems to defy the laws of physics, fortresses suspended on the razor's edge between masterpiece and catastrophe. Look into the void beneath your feet. In this moment, faith is the most fragile thing you can cling to. Sheer cliffs, hovering over bottomless depths, and hidden within caves where a single falling stone could lead to a tragic end. Welcome to Untamed Globe. Today, we step into the most dangerous homes on Earth, places you won't believe actually exist. One, Meteora, Greece. Meteora, where colossal sandstone pillars soar 400 meters high, piercing the azure sky, as if the Earth itself is reaching out to touch the clouds. Forged 60 million years ago upon a primordial seabed, these monoliths were sculpted by wind, rain, and tectonic upheaval into the sheer, imposing rock walls we see today. As the morning mist rolls in from the plain of Thessaly, the bases of these cliffs vanish entirely, leaving the entire monastic complex appearing to float aimlessly in mid-air. For centuries, the only way to access these heights was via primitive rope nets hauled up by manual pulleys. Where a human life was separated from the abyss by nothing more than a single cord. A single rope, a yawning chasm, and a celestial sanctuary atop the peaks. Would you dare to take that gamble? Two, the Hanging Monastery, Xuankong Sai, China. Perched precariously 75 meters above the floor of the Jinlong Gorge, this monastery has defied gravity for over 1,500 years. The most astounding feat, however, lies in its load-bearing system. Foregoing traditional ground foundations, ancient artisans bored deep into the vertical cliff face to anchor crossbeams crafted from ironwood. Pre-treated with tung oil to withstand the ravages of rot and time. The slender wooden pillars, which from a distance resemble mere toothpicks, are in fact only auxiliary supports.
No.
Nie ma, bo słońce to takie kolory. Akurat zaraz zobaczę.
The immense weight of all 40 chambers rests entirely on the beams driven deep into the mountain's core. This unique, half-hanging, half-leaning structure is an architectural marvel that has allowed the monastery to endure dozens of major earthquakes, remaining utterly unshaken. Would you dare to tread upon these creaking wooden planks suspended in mid-air? Three, Bonifacio, France. Leaving behind the profound stillness of the high peaks, there are those who choose instead to confront the relentless power of the ocean. On an island in France, a town has been wagering its very destiny in a centuries-long gamble against the churning fury of the Mediterranean Sea. This ancient settlement defies gravity, perched on the razor's edge of a sheer 70-meter chalk-white limestone cliff on the southern reaches of Corsica. Multi-story houses huddle close together, appearing to float on the threshold between the sky and the Mediterranean horizon. The most striking and perilous element is the erosion. Over millennia, the battering waves have gnawed at the cliff's base, sculpting massive overhangs that undercut the town from below. Here, inhabitants dwell in rooms where nothing but a layer of flooring separates them from the vertical, churning abyss of the sea below. Four, Parotaksung, Tiger's Nest. Bhutan, leaving the ocean's raging waves behind, we turn our gaze toward the roof of the world. Clinging to a sheer granite cliffside, like a white scar amidst the vast wilderness, Parotaksung emerges like a suspended dream, perched over 3,100 meters above sea level. At this altitude, the air is so thin that every upward step makes the chest tighten and the lungs labor. The monastery comprises 4 primary temples and residential quarters, interconnected by stone steps so narrow they barely accommodate a single foot. Skirting the edge of a 900-meter vertical plunge, with no machinery or motorable paths, every brick and gilded statue was hauled to the summit by sheer human will and the steady strength of pack mules. Even after a devastating fire in 1998, the sanctuary was meticulously restored to its former glory, standing resolute upon the cliff, a testament to a faith that transcends the very fear of death. Five. The Korowai Tree Houses, Indonesia. Turning away from the sheer, towering cliffs, we plunge into the heart of Papua's primeval and unforgiving rainforests. A place where the Korowai tribe dwells within unparalleled aerial fortresses. Perched 35 to 50 meters above the forest floor, the equivalent of a 15-story building, these dwellings crown the canopy. They are fashioned entirely from raw timber, bamboo, and palm fronds, held together without the use of a single iron nail. Yet the true shock lies not in the altitude, but in the harrowing reason for their ascent. In this untamed wilderness, they fear more than just seasonal floods or prowling predators. The Korowai retreat skyward to ward off Lulup, the malevolent spirits of the night that crawl from the earth. And more chillingly, to safeguard their lives from the notorious headhunting tribes of the ancient past. And so, they choose to suspend their existence amidst the treetops, surrendering the forest floor to the encroaching darkness and the specter of death. Six. Al-Hajara, Yemen, a stark departure from the fragile timber dwellings of the jungle. Our next destination stands as a masterclass in fortification. This is a city carved from the very bedrock, where the hues of human masonry and the rugged mountain terrain meld so seamlessly they deceive the naked eye. Al-Hajara is not merely built upon a mountain. It appears as a living extension of the Haraz Peak itself, a stone limb reaching toward the heavens. Dating back to the 12th century, driven by the threat of brutal invasions, the Yemeni people embarked on an upward exodus, scaling the sheer granite precipices. Here, they forged one of the most singular architectural complexes on the planet, in a place where gravity seems to exert a relentless pull toward the abyss. The most staggering feat, however, lies in the mastery of the stone locking technique. Colossal blocks were meticulously hewn and stacked with absolute precision. So perfect is the craftsmanship that the gargantuan weight of the structures themselves serves to lock the stones in place. These edifices have stood defiant for a millennium, held together without a single drop of mortar or cement. This perfect synergy between the mountain's pigment and the architecture creates a flawless camouflage. From a distance, the city resembles a natural formation, a masterpiece sculpted by the fossilized hand of time. 7. Fanjingshan, Mount Fanjing, China. Cleaving through a rolling sea of clouds at an elevation of 2,336 meters, Fanjingshan emerges with its golden summit stone pillar, standing sheer as if a colossal meteorite had just plummeted into the earth. Perched atop these two isolated peaks are twin ancient temples, tethered together by a narrow bridge suspended over a yawning chasm, frequently shrouded in a dense veil of mist. This sacred site is revered as the Bodhimanda of Maitreya Buddha, a place where the boundary between the mortal realm and the ethereal world seems to dissolve entirely. Standing upon the bridge, amidst the howling winds and the clouds drifting beneath your feet, you will confront the profound insignificance of man before the overwhelming grandeur of creation. Eight. Ronda, Spain. The serene tranquility of the clouds dissolves the moment you stand upon the precipice of Ronda. Beneath its poetic charm lies a jagged geological scar, harboring some of history's darkest secrets. Ronda is more than just a city. It is a landscape fractured in two by the El Tahoe Gorge, a plunging 120-meter chasm that narrows to a mere 68 meters at its base. Bridging the two halves of the city's soul, the contemplative Moorish Old Quarter and the vibrant modern town, is the Puente Nuevo. A titan of masonry, this proud masterpiece took 42 grueling years to complete. And claimed the lives of over 50 workers during its construction. To live in Ronda is to master composure on the brink of the abyss. Every step across the bridge is a passage through a void, suspended between geological grandeur and indelible historical tragedies. Nine. Abuna Yamata Gu, Ethiopia, dubbed the world's most inaccessible church. This sanctuary is carved deep into a vertical sandstone spire within the Tigray region. To enter its hallowed halls, travelers must free climb a 200-meter cliff face with bare hands, devoid of ropes, harnesses, or any safety equipment. Inside this cramped, sacred space, vibrant 5th century frescoes remain impeccably preserved, shielded by the extreme aridity of the high plateau. Yet, the true twist that leaves many awestruck is this. Even Ethiopian mothers scale this death-defying precipice, cradling infants in their arms to reach the summit for baptism, a profound testament to a faith that knows no bounds. Wangxian Valley, China. Like a fantasy realm plucked from the frames of a wuxia epic, Wangxian Valley boasts a network of ancient-style stilt houses suspended along a sheer granite cliff stretching for hundreds of meters. Formerly a derelict quarry, architects orchestrated an unimaginable resurrection. They deployed colossal steel anchors, drilling dozens of meters into the mountain's core to provide a foundation for these fragile wooden dwellings to cling to. Gray tiled rooftops protrude boldly into the void, positioned precariously beside silver waterfalls that plunge violently from the mountain peaks. The true spectacle, however, unfolds as darkness falls. The valley ignites like a fallen galaxy upon the earth. Shimmering golden lights illuminate the zigzagging wooden boardwalks that trace the cliffside, creating a scene so ethereal you will begin to doubt your own senses. To dwell in Wangxian is to live amidst shifting clouds and lingering mist, where every morning you open your window to find yourself floating in a celestial paradise, a place where the laws of gravity seem to have been forgotten 11. Sassi di Matera, Italy, leaving the ethereal realms of the East behind, let us journey back 9,000 years in time. Welcome to Sassi di Matera, Italy, one of the oldest continuously inhabited rock settlements on the planet. Carved directly into the mountainside, this subterranean city is a unique masterpiece of urban planning. Do not be surprised to find that one family's rooftop serves as another's walkway or courtyard. Layers of architecture stack upon one another to form an intricate labyrinth, transforming the entire city into a colossal stone honeycomb. Its raw beauty and complex structure are so magnificent that they caught the eye of Hollywood filmmakers, serving as the perfect backdrop for a James Bond blockbuster. Matterhorn is not merely a UNESCO World Heritage Site, it is a voyage through time, etched in stone, for those who crave the extraordinary. Catastrophe de la Roca, Spain. Observe this bizarre stone corridor. The village of Castellfollit de la Roca is not built upon an ordinary mountain. It sits atop a narrow, elongated basalt cliff. The result of two overlapping volcanic lava flows from thousands of years ago, sculpted by the relentless erosion of time. This basaltic ridge soars 50 meters high and stretches for over a kilometer. From above, the entire village resembles a colossal stone prow slicing through waves, surging forward amidst the verdant ocean of the Catalonian Valley. Living here is an experience balanced on the razor's edge between tranquility and sheer vertigo. A single misstep on a balcony, or simply opening a window in the wrong direction on a dark night, and you will find yourself face to face with a 50-meter abyss. Directly beneath your heels. Castellfollit de la Roca is not for the faint of heart. It is a place where humanity has learned to balance life on a stone blade reaching into the Catalonian sky. Catskill Pillar, Georgia. Leaving the bustling cliffside settlements behind, we find a breathtaking, almost suffocating stillness in the Imereti region. Amidst a deep emerald valley, the Catskill Pillar thrusts upward like the finger of God, pointing toward the heavens. Atop this 40-meter limestone monolith sits a solitary, diminutive monastery, a place where isolation is pushed to its absolute limits. To reach this gateway to heaven, one must ascend a fragile iron ladder bolted to the sheer rock face. The stark contrast between the massive, unyielding stone and the humble chapel above creates an aura of profound melancholy and mystery. To this day, Catskill remains a historical enigma. Archaeologists continue to debate. How did 9th century builders haul tons of stone and timber to this vertical summit without any modern machinery? Living at Katski is not just about height. It is an immersion in the absolute silence of faith, where the boundary between the profane earth and the sacred sky is but a single breath away. "14. Kandavan, Iran. Kandavan is a surreal village where dwellings are carved deep into cone-shaped rock formations, resembling giant stone tents. These natural spires were forged from compressed volcanic ash millennia ago, sculpted over eons by the patient hand of erosion. A miraculous feature of this lithic architecture is its natural thermal regulation. The interiors remain refreshingly cool during the scorching summer and remarkably warm amidst the winter snows. Despite their primitive, otherworldly appearance, the inhabitants of Kandovan dwell within these stone oases, equipped with all the modern comforts of the 21st century. "15. Phugtal Monastery, India. Tucked away in the remote Lungnak Valley of the Himalayas, the Phugtal Monastery resembles a colossal white beehive clinging to the gaping maw of a grey limestone cavern. This is one of the most secluded outposts on Earth. A grueling 2-day trek from the nearest settlement is the only way to reach its threshold. The monastery is anchored around a sacred cave mouth where, according to legend, enlightened saints and scholars once retreated for solitary meditation. The profound silence of the mountains and the monastery's utter solitude exert a powerful pull on those seeking absolute inner peace and spiritual sanctuary. 16. Santorini, Greece. Oia is not a destination for hurried footsteps. It is a labyrinth of dazzling white limestone stairways, enticing you to lose your way amidst sapphire domes and balconies suspended over the abyss. The magic of Oia lies in its rhythm. Every house is a note in a symphony of silence. Here, you may wake in a chamber carved directly into the volcanic heart, opening your window to find the boundless blue sea surging beneath your feet. As the sun dips below the horizon, the sky transforms into a soft silk tapestry of pastel pinks, pale purples, and radiant peaches. As twilight creeps in, the true miracle begins. Thousands of warm golden lights from balconies, infinity pools, and meandering paths ignite in unison. From a distance, Oia resembles a shimmering galaxy fallen upon dark red cliffs, standing in stark contrast to the silent midnight blue of the caldera waters below. Maijishan Grottos, China. Maijishan, humanity's most magnificent hanging museum. Amidst the verdant wilderness of Gansu Province, a 142-meter red sandstone monolith rises defiantly, shaped like a colossal stack of wheat, a repository for the treasures of 12 feudal dynasties. What leaves every traveler breathless is the intricate network of zigzagging wooden stairs and galleries clinging to the 90-degree cliff face like the ancient root system of a giant tree. At these heights, the boundary between safety and the abyss is separated by nothing more than a thin railing. Every step upon this suspended trail allows you to feel the pulse of time and the profound insignificance of man before the grandeur of nature. Inside the rock face, dwell over 7,000 exquisitely carved Buddhist statues, from towering deities reigning over the mountainside to delicate figures wearing the mysterious Oriental smile. They create a spiritual space of deep solemnity. On misty days, the peak drifts in and out of the clouds, turning the wooden walkways into a gateway to a celestial realm, where art and faith remain suspended amidst the azure sky. Vardsia, Georgia. Journey back to the 12th century, where the ancients achieved an unfathomable feat. They hewn through 13 tiers of volcanic rock to forge a colossal subterranean stronghold with over 6,000 chambers. This hidden titan was built to house an entire army and shield them from the relentless Mongol hordes. Vardsia was once a marvel of medieval engineering, boasting sophisticated underground irrigation and drainage systems, alongside vast wine cellars nestled in the cold shadows of the stone. However, a cataclysmic earthquake in 1283 dealt a fatal blow, shattering the protective stone mask of the mountain. Standing before Vardsia today, one is struck by a haunting beauty, the beauty of a geological scar. Where human resilience lies exposed to the primal fury of the earth. To live in Vardsia is to breathe the spirit of the stone, where every chamber whispers the story of a civilization that sought to hide, only to be unveiled by a cruel twist of fate. San Juan de Gaztelugatxe, Spain. Perched precariously atop a craggy islet in the tempestuous Bay of Biscay, this ancient hermitage emerges as a sanctuary entirely detached from the modern world. To reach this island of dreams, you must conquer a narrow, serpentine stone bridge that winds like the spine of a gargantuan dragon surging through the surf toward the open ocean. The ascent of the 241 zigzagging steps is a sensory odyssey. You walk amidst the deafening roar of waves battering dark, crimson cliffs, feeling the sting of sea salt and the raw power of the Atlantic gale. But the ultimate reward is more than just the vista. According to the ancestral lore of local fishermen, once you have endured the arduous path to the summit, you must ring the church bell thrice. The peal of the bell, echoing through the vast expanse and harmonizing with the crashing tides, is believed to carry your deepest prayers to the gods. San Juan de Gaztelugatxe is more than a destination. It is a trial of resolve, where you stand at the edge of the world, triumphant between the heavens and the sea. In the magic city of Chongqing, where spatial dimensions seem to dissolve, lies a surreal village built directly upon the span of a bridge over a yawning canyon. The architecture here is a bizarre fusion, an eerie blend of Western castle styles and traditional Chinese domes, all perched upon a suspended structure. Standing on the bridge's surface, you can feel the subtle tremors whenever a powerful gust sweeps through or the torrents rush violently below the gorge, offering an urban experience that is as thrilling as it is unsettling. Perched at an altitude of nearly 3,900 meters, the village of Dankar clings to a jagged rocky spur, looming over the confluence of the Spiti and Pin rivers. Its mud and timber dwellings hold fast to the treacherous terrain, appearing as though they might surrender to the abyss at any moment, weary from the relentless erosion of scouring dry winds. Such is the site's precarious fragility that UNESCO has designated Dankar as a critically endangered landmark, a heritage site in desperate need of urgent conservation against the ravages of nature. Popatong Kalat is a shimmering golden monastery perched atop a volcanic plug that has remained dormant for eons. To reach this city of the gods, travelers must ascend 777 winding steps that spiral around the colossal monolith, flanked by an escort of thousands of mischievous macaques. In the spiritual lore of Myanmar, this is the hallowed abode of the 37 Nats, transforming this volcanic pillar into one of the region's most enigmatic and mystical spiritual epicenters. Crowning a sheer 85 meters volcanic needle is the tiny chapel of Saint-Michel des Guilles. An architectural jewel that has stood defiant since the year 961. Given the extremely confined surface of the rock's summit, ancient master builders were forced to reclaim every square centimeter of stone to raise this sacred sanctuary. It serves not only as an engineering marvel, but also as a pivotal gateway for the famous Way of St. James, a pilgrimage route that has drawn the faithful from across Europe for over a millennium. Perched on the banks of the Kura River, Uplis stands as one of the most ancient rock-cut settlements in the Caucasus region. This subterranean city boasts an intricate labyrinth of dwellings, theaters, pharmacies, and wine cellars, all meticulously hewn directly from the living rock. The centerpiece, Queen Tamar's Hall, features stone ceilings carved with patterns so delicate they mimic fine woodwork. Most striking is the eerie fusion of sunless dungeons and pagan shrines. Casting a mystical pre-Christian aura that lingers in every shadowy corner of this stone fortress. Concluding our journey is the enigmatic sister city of Machu Picchu, the citadel of Choqquequirao, tucked away on the craggy slopes of the majestic Andes. To this day, a mere 30% of its sprawling expanse has been reclaimed from the encroaching jungle, leaving the rest buried in mystery. There are no trains or buses to this remote sanctuary. The only way to reach its gates is through a grueling 2-day mountain odyssey. Near vertical stone steps, dubbed the Stairway to Heaven, lead to what is believed to be the final bastion of the Inca royalty during their resistance against the Spanish conquest. Here, amidst the clouds, the legacy of an empire remains defiant and untouched by time.